All right, I got cut off, so this is part 2. So when you put everything together that I stated in the first part, you'll come up with something similar to this. Now faith, or being persuaded or convinced that something is profitable or doubly profitable, is or equals the unseen structure or the invisible fabric or framework of that which you see, okay, or have envisioned or have dreamt, okay? That's what faith is. Faith is being persuaded, like I am convinced in the profitability of something, okay? That it's going to add to me and not take away from me. That it's going to be positive in nature, all right? And not take away or withdraw or be negative onto me, okay? And when I get to that point, when I come to that realization, and when I am convinced of that, then that becomes the invisible framework. Then that becomes the invisible framework, right? That becomes a support to all my ambition, my dream, and that thing that I have envisioned. Remember, everything starts with a vision, okay? Everything starts with a dream. I use the analogy of the first airplane, the one that thought of this probably observed birds flying through the sky, and if this animal can do this, then why can't we? If this animal can glide, through the air on the invisible, then why can't we? And so this individual probably dreamt about this for days, perhaps weeks. And the more that he or she dreamt about it, the more that they pondered on it, the more convinced this individual became that this may be possible. And so then theory starts to set in. Then the possibilities start to be experimented with. Okay? You see the progression. Then prototypes started to be made. And so you can see the steps, the progression, that just from the idea, just from a dream, right? It went from stage to stage until, guess what? All of a sudden now, you have a prototype model that you're demonstrating or throwing or gliding off of a cliff or something like that. And you start to see how this becomes very much real, very possible. Scientifically, right? Doing experiments or whatever. You start to find out that it truly can happen. When, in the face of all opposition, everybody's telling you you're crazy. The David and Goliath scenario. And so this is how Hebrews chapter 11:1, the faith scripture plays out. You have to become convinced about something. You have to become persuaded. And every invention and every event, every building, every airplane, every relationship started the same way. You have to dream it. You have to see it in the mind's eye. You have to envision it. Now, faith, what you are 100% convinced of and persuaded will be beneficial to you, is the unseen thing that supports what you envision, what you dream. And the latter part of the scripture says, oh, let me not forget, not only, the hypostases is the unseen thing that supports that which you clearly have seen, envisioned, dreamt. Okay? And this has to do with whatever you have anticipated with pleasure. Okay? You see, you become convinced about, in my scenario earlier, about flying through the air. So much so that you see yourself doing it in your dreams and in your visions. And you want this so badly. You anticipate it with pleasure, which is the definition of hope, the word hope. Hope means to anticipate something with pleasure. So all of that has to mix together. Not only must you be convinced, but you need to be convinced about something that you anticipate with pleasure, like Christmas Day when you were a child. That type of feel to it, where you anticipate it with pleasure. I can't wait. It's 25 days away, and you as a child were like counting down the days. You went and got a placard or whatever this thing, cardboard thing, and it had chocolates for each of the days, and they were perforated, and you opened them up and you took your piece of chocolate for that particular day, and it helped you to count down until the 25th day of December. You anticipated with pleasure. It was not a pain to you. It was not it was not how do you say, unenjoyable? It doesn't sound right, but anyways, it was something you anticipated with pleasure. It was your pleasure to wait because you knew what that day meant. And that's how we have to be about whatever it is you become convinced about, that you're convinced it's going to be beneficial, it's going to return to you a profit. And when that happens, that becomes the fabric, the framework, the invisible and immaterial structure for those things that you anticipate with pleasure. And again, the last part of that states, of Hebrews 11:1 states that persuasion, that which you are convinced is profitable unto you, also becomes the evidence or proof of the thing that has not yet materialized. It becomes proof that it is obtainable, it is lawful, it is possible. It becomes proof of all of that, evidence of that. The evidence of things not seen. It proves, even though it's immaterial right now, that it's possible. So all of that, when you combine all of this, all of these ingredients, okay, this is taking the immaterial and causing it to become material. All right, and now with that, you've become free. You've been made free. The question is, what are you going to do with it? All right, make sure that you employ these strategies. Try these things out, as the scripture says. Test these things to see if they be so. And then come back and tell us about it when it comes to fruition. All right? That is manifestation at its finest. Make it happen. All right? We'll see you for our Day of the Sun, Day of Inspiration. We do now on Sundays, somewhere between 10 a.m. and 11 Central Standard Time. All right? If you would like a consultation, if you would like to participate in some sort of advisory relationship, we can set up a Zoom meeting with you. If you need that type of encouragement, that's just what I'm here for. That's what this program is here for. If you need somebody to talk to, you just need an ear to listen, feel free to hit us up. The email is knowledgewell, the number 4, the letter U, @gmail.com. All right, we need to build each other up, and this is just my platform, and hopefully we can encourage you to get and start your own platform, because we need each other in this day and age. All right, don't give up hope. Encourage others, and you'll find yourself being encouraged. All right, that's the way that this thing works. Remember, you need both negatives and positives in order to have a healthy flow or circulation or conductivity. You need them both. So fret not at your day of testing. Fret not when that negativity rears its ugly head. It's necessary. All right, see it as that. And as we learned yesterday, make sure that you also feed yourself with positively charged foods, your leafy green vegetables, all those things containing chlorophyll and what have you. The darker green, the better. All right, these are positively charged foods. All right, now, lastly, another thing that came across that was uploaded into me from Source was that you don't necessarily want to be completely positively charged. You have to balance it. The objective is not to be +5 as far as positive and negative charts, right? Remember the X and Y coordinate system, and the higher you go up, the more positive the number gets. The lower you go below the number line, the more negative you become. What you want to do is strive to be at 0. Why? Because in the realm of natural law, the negative has just as much, how shall I say, delegation of authority to do its job as the positive does. What do I mean by that? What I mean is they both are necessary. Life is about finding balance. Life is not about being on cloud 9 and 10. If you stay in a mostly positively charged state, that will necessitate the negative to pull even harder at you, because life is trying to get you to a balance, and a balance is neutral, and neutral is denoted by 0. You're neither 1 nor -1. You want to be at 0. If it is perceived by the universe that you are +1, +2, +3, and that is where you reside, the negative will cause an equilibrium and drain you of that +1 to keep you at 0. You don't want to be bipolar. You don't want to be one extreme and have a mood swing to the highest height and then a dip to the lowest low. You want to strive to be at 0. Be Zen, 0. All right? With that being said, once again, you've been made free. The question is, what are you going to do with it? Help somebody else out with this information as well. If you don't know how, point them in our direction. Again, let's bring it together. We are building a foundation, all right? And this is a firm foundation. And off of this, we will grow together, all right? We'll see you again on Sunday between 10 and 11 Central Standard Time. Other than that, I'll try to get to the office some point this week and do a live as well, all right? I love you all. Thank you all for your support. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. And don't forget to show your support. Our Cash App is, $ American Consulate. All right. Please show your support in that way as well. We appreciate you. Peace.